Hello everybody, this is GamerGar and welcome back to another video of Stardew Valley. For today's video, we are going to go through common mistakes that all players make, including myself. Some of these mistakes are a little bit embarrassing, but I did make them, especially when starting out in the game, and even sometimes when I play the game now, these mistakes are made, so we should have a little bit of a laugh going through the mistakes in this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so when Stardew Valley content is released, which is every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, and we also do live streams every Friday at 9 o'clock British Standard Time, you will be notified. As you can see, the channel has now tons of Stardew Valley content for you to enjoy. The first huge mistake I'm going to cover today is knowing when to sell your items. So in Stardew Valley there comes a time where you could stockpile a lot of items, or you could just sell items as you get them. The more you play the game, the more experience you will amass and you'll be able to answer these questions yourself. But when I first started playing the game, I always used to sell the fish I caught on the day. It never occurred to me that if I saved up all these fish and then sold them when I reached certain skill levels, that I would make a lot more money for the hard work and time that I've put into my fishing endeavour every single day. Let's take a look at our fishing skill here at the moment. We're on level 4 fishing. How many of you sold all of your fish at level 1, 2, 3 or 4, not knowing that when you reached fishing level 5, you could unlock a very powerful perk that would increase the value of your fish by a whopping 25%. Not only that, but if you're extremely patient, like the most hardcore of players, and sell all your fish at fishing level 10, fish are then worth 50% more, meaning you could make huge amounts of money, especially in spring if you stockpile all your fish. We just sold fish here at fishing level 4, 5,000 gold for a regular legend fish. Now you can't actually catch that fish at fishing level 4, we're just using it in this video as an example. So as we can see here now, it's night time. It is Sunday the 7th. We are doing more fishing, and as you can see, we have got the same regular fish again in our inventory. So we're just going to fish this one up. Also notice the treasure chest. How many of you knew that if you caught a treasure chest while fishing, you got an XP multiplier? So we just get fishing level 5. We're going to select the perk fish worth 25% more. Now we are going to sell all our fish and we are going to go to bed with this perk enabled. Let's see how much money we're going to get now for selling the same amount of fish. So we're just going to hit the bed here now. Let's see how much money we get. 8,220 gold. That is a huge difference. The legend isn't worth 5,000 gold anymore. It is now worth 6,250 gold. And if you're just starting out in this game, that extra 1,250 gold for that one fish it makes a huge difference. The next big mistake that I made in this game when I started out was not checking the weather forecast enough. And the reason why you should be checking the weather forecast every single day is because you can plan your next days a lot better. One example would be that if you know the next day is going to be a rainy day, you know the pigs aren't going to come out to look for truffles, so you can scratch that off your to-do list. Another reason why you want to check the weather forecast for the next day is that if it is going to be a rainy day, for example, you know you won't have to water your crops. So if you wanted to go to the Skull Cavern, for example, for a full day, you could absolutely do that without any problems at all. It's also worth noting too that when pigs generate truffles, if you don't collect your truffles before the next season starts, your truffles will disappear regardless of what season it is. If you're in spring, for example, and it's the 28th and you don't collect your truffles, they won't be there on the first day of summer. Another huge mistake that I found myself making all the time was ignoring the grass I had in my farm. So normally what I did was that when I first started my farm, I just leave the grass there. I never actually used it. Even when I got animals, I used to keep my animals locked up in the barns because I just couldn't be bothered to make fences to leave the animals out. But what's really handy about grass is that you can actually use it to feed your animals instead of purchasing hay off Marnie. As we all know, hay is super expensive and Marnie is rarely around to purchase it from. But what's great here is that if you get this site, especially the golden site, you can harvest your grass to get hay, and if you have silos, the hay will go into those silos for you. If you don't have silos, you won't actually get hay when you harvest your grass, so watch out for that. I used to hit my grass with the scythe all the time if I needed to create space without silos, which was a total waste. What's also super important is to put down loads of grass starter, especially at the end of a season, so that when a new season kicks in, you'll get huge multipliers on your grass starter and it will expand all over your farm, keeping your lovely animals fed all of the time. And that's something I never really did when I played this game, was to capitalize on grass starter. It's super cheap to make grass starter. You can purchase recipe off Pierre and you can make grass starter, and all you need is to just plant it in little plots all around your farm, and when the new season comes in, you will have grass all over the place to feed your animals. It's also worth noting too that if you plant grass starter in winter, you'll get a huge multiplier for spring. The next huge mistake we're going to talk about today is forgetting to bring your tools with you wherever you go. And if you've watched my streams lately, the first thing you've probably noticed is that I forget to bring tools with me all the time. I don't know how many times I've left a pickaxe in the chest if I wanted to go to the Miner's Skull Cavern, or if I left my fishing rod in the chest and I wanted to go fishing, and so I've had to trek all the way back to get my beloved tool and then go all the way back to the original destination to continue on with the run. Let's look at your basic Skull Cavern run here. We take our lovely, super rare magic rock candy. We're ready, we have bombs, we have healables, we have our lovely weapon, we even have a slingshot with explosive ammo. But oops, look what we've done. We've forgotten our pickaxe. And that it's so embarrassing, but it happens. Has it happened to you? Leave a note in the comments if it has. I would love to hear from your own experiences if you've made any of these mistakes so far. If you have forgotten tools and you've had to go all the way back to your farm to get them, the same way I have to go back to the farm to get my pickaxe. The biggest mistake, this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I have made, and it's basically cutting down all of the trees but not regrowing new trees. Now fair enough, trees will regrow, especially in Cindersap Forest. However, when you get into winter, they will not regrow unless of course you put tree fertilizer on them. But how many of you knew the wonders of tree fertilizer when you first started out in Stardew Valley? I didn't, and it's something that I never used. I just made tons of reserve jars there at the moment. Look how quickly you go through the wood resource in this game. You could have a few stacks of wood, 999 wood in one stack, and you would go through that so fast if you started making kegs or preserve jars, or even if you just wanted to do some building upgrades. It goes so quickly. We're in winter now at the moment, and as we can see, there is no trees anywhere. We will have to wait until spring for Cindersap Forest to generate trees for us. Only if we knew about the tree fertilizer earlier, we could have easily planted the seeds, put tree fertilizer down, and we'd have trees in winter, no problem. The next big mistake that I've made in this game is forgetting to check the farm cave all the time. Now we have a really nice cave here at the moment, filled up to the top with lovely forageables, and almost all the tiles were filled up, so we basically just neglected this cave for a good few seasons. And the same goes for if you have a mushroom cave. The mushrooms generate every single day, and I didn't know this for the longest of times, so I missed out on tons of money. And the great thing about having a mushroom cave is that you can very easily make life elixirs if you can accumulate all of the mushrooms that you need. So as we can see here, we just collected some mushrooms, common mushrooms, chanterelles. Sometimes you can even get purple and red mushrooms, and if you combine all the different types of mushrooms, you can make the life elixir, which is one of the best healing and energy consumables in the game. So don't make the same mistakes I did, and check your caves every single day. Check it all of the time, especially if you have the mushroom cave, because you are going to get 6 free mushrooms every single day with this cave. If you don't want to combine the mushrooms into life elixirs, don't worry about it. You can either eat the mushrooms for energy and health, or you can just sell them and make a nice profit for yourself. For the next big mistake that I made, I want you to be honest with yourselves and be honest with me, and let me know in the comments how many of you made this mistake, because I can absolutely guarantee that every single one of you have made this mistake. So you spent the whole day processing items. Let's take a look at what I'm doing here. For example, I have lovely truffles, and these are being processed into truffle oil, because we all know that truffle oil sells for huge amounts of money. But look what's going to happen here at the shipping bin. We accidentally put our non-processed goods into the shipping bin. We could have turned those truffles into truffle oils. If they were iridium truffles, we would have got over it, but they were just regular truffles, and we missed out on loads of money. Unfortunately, you can only get back the last item you put into a shipping bin, so we are now down some money. How many of you hoard items that you will more than likely never ever use? This is something that I do a lot, and it's a huge mistake that I make. Inside these chests are items that have worth, but because the farm now is so old and because of everything done, most of these items just end up being chucked into chests. They will never be used. I could very easily take them out of the chests and I could sell them, but I keep telling myself there might be a use for them later. And that's something I tell myself all the time. There might be a use for these items later on in the game. Maybe when I get to year 20 or year 30, I might find a use for these items. As a result, the chests will accumulate, and the number of useless items in those chests will also accumulate. Let me know in the comments if you are a super hoarder just like myself when it comes to hoarding items that really need to be either processed and sold or used in many ways that can be used in this game. At the moment, I'm doing one of my daily chores. I am harvesting my lovely tea leaves. Guess where these tea leaves are going to go? That's absolutely right, into another chest. When are we going to use those tea leaves? Probably never. Welcome to the GamerGar farm. You have caught the hardest fish in the game. You are a master angler. But you put the master fish into your fridge and you have mistakenly converted all of your high valued fish into sashimi. If this has happened to you, leave a message in the comments, because this has happened to me multiple times. It even happened once with the legend fish and I was so sad. Another huge mistake I made in this game was not going to the wizard to do building placement or even to create new buildings. Fair enough, Robin creates the barns, she creates the coops, but the wizard can actually move buildings the same way Robin can, and the wizard has much better opening hours. If we go to the wizard here, we have to go to his terminal. Now we have to activate this terminal by doing a quest, so it's not something we can get to on day one. However, once this magical terminal has been activated, we can use it almost any time of the day to move buildings around at our leisure. Robin always goes off on a Tuesday to do training, so you'll never get Robin on a Tuesday, but the wizard hangs around all the time. He's always ready to lend a hand. So at certain times in spring, bushes will yield salmonberries, and you can accumulate literally hundreds of these things if you harvest them every single day. A huge mistake I make is that I normally sell these when I get them, especially if I have the botanist perk, where everything that I pick up is always going to be an Iridium Quality item. So all the salmonberries I'm getting here are Iridium Quality salmonberries, and you might think to yourself, oh, these are going to sell for loads, but they sell for absolutely nothing. I made 3,000 gold, but look how many salmonberries I had to sell for that. 100 salmonberries. So if you get salmonberries in the future, don't sell them like I do. Keep them for energy. They're actually not bad at all for energy. I'm just going to eat one here. That's a huge increase in energy and health. You just eat a few of these and you're going to be topped up in no time at all. And here's a pro tip for you. On the first day that you go to harvest your salmonberries, if you exit the game and log back in again, 50% more bushes will spawn salmonberries for you, which means you can harvest 50% more salmonberries on the first salmonberry harvest day. Another huge mistake I make in this game, and I still make it to this day, is that I get my rings and my weapons that I feel I no longer need, and I put them into the trash can. And sometimes I can put them into a non-upgraded trash can, so at least I'm getting money back here because it's an Iridium trash can, but an Iridium trash can doesn't give you back 100% of the item's value. There's a very, very easy method to get around this, and that is to simply go to the Adventurers Guild. There you can sell your rings and your weapons, no problem. Marlon will purchase all weapons and rings off you, no problem at all, and you're going to get more money this way. But I never do this, and if you're the same as me, leave a note in the comments and let me know if you rarely go to the Adventurers Guild, or if you go there all the time to capitalise on the services Marlon can provide. Another huge mistake that I used to make in this game was to sell items before giving them to Gunther. And I did this for a lot of reasons. The first reason being I really needed money. But I failed to see the value in some items, as some items are much harder to get than others. The prismatic shard, for example, I sold my very first prismatic shard, and when I saw that I got 2000 gold for it, I was convinced that was its only use, despite the fact that it had in its description Gunther would be interested. I wasn't going to give mine to Gunther because I was getting 2000 gold for it. So rule of thumb, if you get artifacts and Gunther doesn't have them, give them to Gunther, unless of course it's a prismatic shard or a dinosaur egg. The next huge mistake that I've made in this game is not making friends early. At the moment we're living with Krobus. He is the best friend you're ever going to get in this game. Krobus rules. The reason why I didn't bother making friends in this game is because I was always occupied with other things, such as going to the mines, going to Skull Cavern, fishing, making loads of money. But if you invest in friendship early on in this game, you will have a much easier time achieving endgame goals. All of the NPCs in this game have recipes that they will give you if you reach a certain amount of friendship points with them. They will also mail you valuable items every few days. At the moment I just showed you a different farm type here. We have maxed out all of the NPCs, and if we slept for a whole week and we went outside, now we're not including Haley in this because you know, ooh, but if we slept for the whole week and then went outside, you'd notice that there's a ton of mail with tons and tons of items in there. That is why you want to make as many friends as possible. And another huge mistake was not making friends with Haley, because even though I just said ooh there a few seconds ago, that was just a joke. Haley is an awesome NPC. Another huge mistake I've made in this game is not organising the greenhouse so that it can match its full potential. The greenhouse is one of the most amazing buildings you'll get access to in this game, because you can grow any crop in this building regardless of what season it is. Let's take a look at the greenhouse layout at the moment. This layout can be drastically improved upon. Let's look at our new greenhouse layout. You can put trees in here. You can put iridium sprinklers with pressure nozzles in here, maximizing the amount of tiles you can use to grow crops. We have got one of every tree inside this greenhouse, so whatever we need, the greenhouse provides. We can even go one step further and we can actually put more items in here. We could put garden pots in here on top of these trees if we wanted to, for even more crops. All you need is to just put deluxe retaining soil into the garden pots. So the greenhouse is one of, if not the best building in the game. The next huge mistake that I've made is not going to the secret woods enough to get hardwood. On top of that, when I have loads of hardwood, sometimes I can have anywhere up to 1000 hardwood, I don't actually utilize it properly. Once you get your hands on 100 hardwood, you can make the stable. And you don't just get a stable, you also get a horse that comes with it, which is absolutely amazing. You're getting a 2-for-1 deal. At the moment we're using the Pegasus horse skin, and you can get around way faster in the map on this horse. So don't make the same mistakes I did. Once you have 100 hardwood and you don't need it for anything else, get yourself a lovely horse companion. Another huge mistake I've made in this game is processing items that shouldn't really be processed further. Let's take a look at the Iridium Quality truffle. So if you have the botanist perk, that means all foraged items you pick up, including truffles, will be of Iridium Quality. there is a very, very small price difference between an Iridium Quality truffle and a truffle oil. You will actually make more money by just selling the Iridium Quality truffles and not process them, because time is money in this game. So do yourself a favour, don't waste time on processing Iridium Quality truffles into truffle oil, because it's not worth the time, especially if you look at how little time you get per day. So we're just going to sell the truffle oil and the truffles just to show you what the difference actually is in price. So let's have a look at the truffle oil, 1065 gold. Let's look at the truffle, 1250 gold. It's almost no difference at all. Well, you look at that, it is a beautiful Wednesday. Aren't Wednesdays just one of your favourite days in the whole game? Well, here is a huge mistake that I have made, because it's something that you take for granted. But on Wednesdays it's different, you know, it's like getting a smack into the face. We need to go to Pierre's, we need to buy crops. We just harvest parsnips, we need more crops. But oh look, Pierre's closed on a Wednesday. Why is Pierre closed on a Wednesday? Because Pierre's not a nice person. And I'm going to say not a nice person because this is a family video. So I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you enjoyed this one, and let me know in the comments if you have made mistakes similar to the ones I have made. So I look forward from hearing from yourselves. As per usual, I will upload the next video a few days from now, so look forward to that. And I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you have a great week. Bye for now.